thank you to everyone who's been watching our Power Rangers videos recently. I'm actually kind of surprised the amount of people who have been watching the Power Rangers ones, because usually, most people come here for like the Japanese stuff. But yeah, it's really cool to see. I'm gonna try to do more Power Rangers stuff, as long as news comes out for it. It's kind of hard nowadays to do that, but I mean, we've been getting some pretty good news recently. So let's take a look at this article, though. I found this really interesting. We are on Den of Geek. We're not going to go through the whole article, just like the main points, but if you do want to check it out for yourself, I will leave a link in the description below so you can check it out. But this is really interesting. Power Rangers, the lost second pilot solves a massive franchise mystery. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers had 3 pilots and one was thought lost forever. But what if it was under our noses the whole time? So this was written by Seamus Kelly on April 29th. So yeah, interesting. That's interesting. So let's take a look at this. So this is a screenshot that has been floating around since this article was released, and I was like, wait, what is this? I've never seen this screenshot. There's a lot of interesting information in here that I just personally didn't know. So let's see. Let's go through this. It's been assumed for years that Mighty Morphin Power Rangers had 3 pilots, 3 pilot episodes. I did not know that. I don't remember this at all. As Tony Oliver, co-writer and developer of the Power Rangers pilot, first revealed at Power Morphicon in 2007, the pilot episode, which turned into the first episode, Day of the Dumpster, they actually did 3 times. So maybe I did know that and I forgot, because I did go to the 2007 Power Morphicon, the very first Power Morphicon ever. Really fun time. Man, that was wow. That was a time, man. But yeah, that's interesting. The first pilot, too violent. So this is the one that I'm aware of. This is actually this one. So we're on YouTube now. Actually, this is a TV special. So this is slightly edited, but it's essentially the pilot episode, like the original pilot episode that actually had a different Yellow Ranger. This didn't have Tui Trang. This had Aubrey Dubois. Is that how you say her name? I'm sorry if I don't know. I don't know how to say your name. I apologize. But yeah, different Yellow Ranger. So that's obviously like the biggest difference there. But then there was also the first scene. Instead of the juice bar, they are at a bowling alley. The Rangers fight, or before they become Rangers, the teens fight the bullies, who are some dude and Bulk. I'm pretty sure Bulk was there, but it was some other dude. It wasn't Skull. And that other dude was like more of the leader instead of Bulk. Yeah, it was too violent, right? Right here. The network looked at it and went, "This is great. It's way too violent." According to Tony Oliver at SakuraCon in 2011. Then here, the lost second pilot, still too violent. At Power Morphicon 2007, Tony Oliver screened a scene that revealed the existence of a then virtually unknown second pilot. It is now more closely resembled the show Power Rangers would become. Tui Trang replaced Audrey I'm sorry, I don't know how to say your name. Comedian Jason Narvi joined the cast as Bully sidekick Skull, and the familiar gym and juice bar set is in place. While it reuses chunks of the dialogue from the first pilot's bowling scene, it also features new elements. So we're not going to watch the whole thing, but as you can see, yeah, we have Jason Narvi and Paul Schreier as the 2 main bullies, but then there's also a couple of other bullies in here too, which I thought was interesting. There's a girl bully and like 1 or 2 other dudes or something like that. Yeah, right here. These 2 guys are helping him up. So yeah, so they still had like a whole crew of bullies. I guess that kind of adds to the more violent nature of these pilots. So it was probably a good idea to just like keep it minimal, keep it to just two bullies, keep the violence a little more contained, you know? Oliver recalls that when this scene was completed and screened, the reaction from the production team was lackluster, and Fox ruled it was still too violent. Okay. I wonder what made it lackluster. Maybe not enough character stuff, maybe? I don't know. So the second pilot was, as Oliver stated, reshot one more time. Oliver claimed that the audience of Power Morphin and later conventions where he screened the footage were the only people to see the second pilot scene outside of Saban Entertainment. Interesting. However, a chunk of it was later used in Season 1, Episode 7, Big Sisters. Focusing on Trini and Kimberly's struggle to take care of a young girl, footage from the second pilot of Kimberly spilling chili on Bulk is bizarrely inserted at the very end of the episode. Oh, interesting. Instead of Bulk starting a fight, the scene ends with the chili landing on Bulk with a line from Kimberly dubbed in to wrap the scene up. Dubbed in to wrap the scene up. Oh, okay, sorry. I was Okay, so here's the Big Sisters episode. Okay, so they set it up with the chili and everything. And then, okay.
It was supposed to be on the house, not on you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that was weird. Yeah, that audio clip was really weird. Could more footage of this lost second pilot still be out there? What other differences would there be from the first episode that eventually aired? Fans have always hoped it would turn up, but what if it was right under their noses the whole time? So the third and final pilot completely reshot? Maybe not. So what finally ended up airing as the official first episode of Power Rangers Day of the Dumpster features the early scene of the teens confronting Bulk, but we reworked once again. And yeah, essentially it's the episode that we actually got, the very first episode, Day of the Dumpster. So this third pilot was totally reshot from the lost second pilot, right? Well, there were a few effects shots carried over from the first pilot, the easiest to spot being the teens dodging a blast from Marita after they leave the command center. But for the most part, that's what was assumed for the last 30 years. Oh, okay. Day of the Dumpster as aired was the reshot third pilot Tony Oliver mentioned multiple times, except it wasn't a total reshoot. The third pilot is mostly the second pilot, okay? As first discovered by longtime Power Rangers fan Sir Stack in a post on Hexagon, the Power Rangers scripts archive. Oh man, Power Rangers Hexagon. I gotta do a video on that too. Oh man. Alright, so yeah, there's a scene where Billy struggles with his karate class, but it wasn't shot for the first episode. It was shot for this other episode, Dark Warrior. It explains why in the final aired version of Dark Warrior, they had to dub in a line where Billy says he's going to re-enroll in Jason's karate class instead of simply enroll in Jason's karate class seen in the script. Interesting. Okay. Left. Billy and Day of the Dumpster with a communicator. Oh, yeah. He's not supposed to have a communicator in Day of the Dumpster. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, yeah, look at that. So this is the actual first episode, right? Day of the Dumpster. Yeah, he's wearing a communicator. Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah, and he's obviously he's not supposed to wear it because, like, yeah, it's not. Is Jason wearing it too? Yeah, it looks like Jason's wearing it too. Yeah, it looks like it, like right there. What the heck? That's so. Yeah, and they're not. Yeah, that was a blooper. That was a blooper in the first episode because they obviously haven't had their communicators because they weren't Power Rangers at this point yet. That's so interesting. The use of this karate class scene from Dark Warrior was likely deemed a suitable replacement for the fight scene from the lost second pilot, as Jason makes no direct contact with Bulk when he demonstrates his moves. Okay, that makes sense. That lessens the violence, okay? The lost second Power Rangers pilot has been hiding in plain sight this whole time. In fact, you've already seen most of it because everything with the teens after the karate class second scene of Day of the Dumpster beginning with the third scene of all the teens at the table likely originated from what was thought to be the lost second episode. It wasn't. It was always intended to be part of the first episode. What? Okay, so then they provide some evidence on how that is the case, and there's a lot of evidence here. Okay, so that's confusing. Power Rangers only ever had one pilot. The long-held belief that there were 3 pilots for Power Rangers is incorrect. Instead, there was one pilot, the one that fans finally got to see in 1999. 1999. Okay, yeah, so like a few years later. So I think they're talking about this one, if I'm not mistaken. Like the one that didn't have Tweet Train, I think. During the shooting of that pilot, the show got picked up. Work began on the first season, but when the first episode was completed, it was deemed to have a beginning that was still too violent. With production steamrolling along at a breakneck pace of shooting 4 episodes at a time, man, that's a lot. According to Power Rangers, the ultimate visual history, they quickly wrote and shot a brand new opening scene to introduce characters and match up to a scene from Dark Warrior to fill out the runtime. Okay. The rest of the first episode was deemed acceptable, and any remaining violence was likely deemed allowed to be left in, especially since it was against space aliens and not humans. So it's okay. Along the way, the other small things were changed, including the new standard morph sequence that was in the rest of season 1. Yeah, that's super interesting. I think it's in here, right? Like this part right here. You can clearly see the Jew Rangers, right? These are the Jew Rangers, but then they like... Yeah, but then, they're all like showing their faces and, saying they're dinosaurs one by one and stuff. That's interesting. Also, another thing to point out is that the monster that they fight is different. They don't fight Goldar when they go big, when they go into Megazord mode. Like, they're fighting this snow monster thing, and they actually like have some trouble fighting him. I mean, of course they win in the end. But yeah, I was like, hold on, this is new. Oh, by the way, if you want to know, this is actually Adrian W. Carr's YouTube channel. So if you don't know, he is the director. He was the director of the pilot. So he's done Day of the Dumpster, High Five, A Pressing Engagement, and No Clowning Around. He was the director of those 4 episodes in A Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So, bam, there you go. So he has 2 versions of this same episode, this same pilot episode. This one is, I guess it had a sync issue. I guess the audio was kind of out. Wasn't really matching. But yeah, there's basically 2 versions on his YouTube channel. I will also link this in the description. Everything that I've been talking about, I'll link in the description below. Day of the Dumpster, as aired, is around 75% of what had been originally shot when Season 1 Power Rangers started production. Oh, interesting. With several scenes altered or inserted to address network notes. The lost second episode was hiding in plain sight. I mean, I don't know. It's still essentially 3 pilots, if you ask me. That's what it seems like to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading this wrong. I don't know. But it seems to me like there still were 3 pilots, essentially. I mean, of course, they just did like little reshoots here and there. But essentially, it's still 3 like fairly different episodes. I mean, you got this, you got the first one, obviously. The most different being different Yellow Ranger. So that's obviously going to be way different. And then there was this one where we have Tweet Train, but different monster at the end. The fight scene at the beginning was different because, there was still a whole gang of bullies. I don't know. It's still interesting. Like, this whole, like, it's so complicated. Like, there was stuff that was meant for this episode was actually meant for this episode, and we thought it was for this episode, but it was actually meant for this episode. I was like, it's hard to kind of wrap your head around. But yeah, like I said, interesting article. Yeah, this was kind of wild to me too. Like this whole communicator thing, how they're wearing it, but they're not supposed to be wearing it. That's wild. I did not notice that at all. But yeah, interesting stuff. I highly recommend you read the entire article for yourself. Again, link is in the description below. But thank you all so much, everyone, for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. Follow us on our social media below. We also have a Discord, so make sure to flex the toys, collectibles, and I might have to do a video on Power Rangers Hexagon because that was a whole thing that was very, very interesting, and I kind of want to read about it again because it has been a while since I've read about it. But yeah, thank you all so much once again, and we will see you all next time.